In a quiet village tucked deep within Nigeria's red earth plains, where the early morning mist kissed the tops of palm trees and the scent of wet soil lingered long after dawn, there lived a young woman named Amara. Amara was not born into wealth. She did not carry jewels that glittered in sunlight, nor did she have a family with influence or power. But what she possessed was rarer and far more enduring, a spirit that could withstand suffering, patience that outlasted cruelty, and a heart gentle enough to forgive even when surrounded by hatred. Her childhood was modest, filled with chores and responsibilities that seemed far heavier than her years. She learned quickly that kindness alone did not protect a person in Nigeria's villages, that the world often rewarded the loud, the ruthless, and the cunning. Yet she remained quiet, observing, learning, surviving. When Chukudi, a young man of noble heart and hard-working nature, asked for her hand in marriage, whispers ran through the village. Why her, they asked. She is too quiet. She is too small. How will she manage a home? But Chukudi saw what others could not. He saw the strength beneath her quiet exterior, the resilience in her eyes, the unwavering patience in her posture. He believed in her. To Amara, he was the answer to prayers she had whispered under starlit skies for years, prayers for peace, love, and a chance to live without fear. Marriage, she believed, was the promise of safety, a new life away from judgment and humiliation. Yet, in Nigeria, as in all lands, peace is often tested before it is granted. On the day Amara entered Chukwuini's family compound, the sky above Nigeria was clear, but a heavy tension seemed to cling to the earth. Birds were unusually silent. The dust of the red roads hung in the air, waiting, as if even nature had sensed what was to come. And there, standing at the entrance, arms folded and eyes sharp, was Madam Obianuju, Chukwudi's mother. Her reputation was known far and wide. Some villagers spoke her name with caution, others avoided it entirely. She was a woman whose beauty, if it could be called that, was matched only by the fear she inspired. Her smile that morning did not reach her eyes. It was a warning, not a welcome, and Amara felt it immediately. The first morning passed with subtle tests. Wake earlier, she was told, even though she had risen before the first rooster crowed. Cook faster, even though ingredients were incomplete. Bow lower, even though she had shown all the respect she knew. By the end of the first week, Amara realized that she was entering a battlefield disguised as a home. Every movement, every gesture, every word she spoke was watched, judged, and criticized. Her silence was mocked, her patience questioned, her strength taken for weakness. "You walk too softly," Madam Obianuju sneered one morning as Amara brought water from the well. "A real woman walks with authority." Amara's hands trembled slightly, but she bowed her head and continued her work. She had learned long ago that arguing would achieve nothing. When neighbors visited, the cruel words became public spectacle. "This girl cannot even cook properly," Madam Obianuju would announce, forcing Amara to present meals she had not been allowed to prepare under normal circumstances. Laughter erupted around her. She swallowed her tears in silence. Chukwudi noticed the change in his wife. He saw the dimming light in her eyes, the slump of her shoulders, the way she no longer smiled at him as she once had. But whenever he confronted his mother, the answer was always the same. "She is learning how to be a woman." In Nigeria, those words have ended many marriages before they even began. Weeks turned into months. Insults turned into rules. She was forced to eat last, sleep last, and rest never. Her family visits were denied, her clothes criticized, and her every action scrutinized. Every mistake, real or imagined, was magnified. Every success downplayed. One afternoon, during the market festival, Madam Obianuju accused Amara of stealing money from her wrapper. She shouted so loudly that the entire village gathered. Amara tried to defend herself, but the crowd had already judged her. "She came into this family empty-handed," the old woman cried, "and now she wants to destroy it." Chukwudi stood frozen, torn between loyalty to his mother and love for his wife. His voice failed him. Amara's tears were quiet, unnoticed by most, but they cut deep within her. That night, she knelt behind the kitchen hut, pressing her palms into the red earth of Nigeria, whispering prayers not for revenge, not for punishment, but only for strength, the strength to survive without losing her heart. What Madam Obianuju could not know was that Amara's lineage carried deep roots in Nigeria's mystical history. Her grandmother had once been a woman of wisdom, a keeper of old secrets. She had told young Amara, "When injustice digs too deep, the earth listens. When cruelty lasts too long, the winds carry stories that awake what has been sleeping." As the months passed, strange things began to occur. Madam Obianuju's sleep became restless. She dreamed of shadows creeping into her home, of voices whispering accusations she had long ignored. She dismissed them at first, blaming fatigue, stress, or imagination. But then her body betrayed her. Her legs trembled when she raised her voice. Her tongue faltered when she tried to insult Amara. Meals she cooked for herself spoiled before the sun could set. Her commands, once obeyed without question, were met with silence or quiet defiance. Madame Obianuju's pride, however, blinded her. She accused Amara of witchcraft. The accusation spread through the village, and even those who had once pitied Amara now looked at her with suspicion. Yet the strange occurrences continued, and slowly the villagers began to notice a pattern. Every curse Madame Obianuju aimed at Amara returned to her instead. The day of reckoning came unexpectedly. During a heated argument in front of neighbors and elders, Madame Obianuju collapsed. Her words, meant to insult and dominate, instead spilled as confessions. She admitted to years of jealousy, manipulation, and cruelty. She admitted to driving away past daughters-in-law, poisoning peace in her household, and letting fear rule her heart. Chukwudi fell to his knees beside Amara, tears streaming down his face. He realized too late that silence had hidden suffering, not lies. Madame Obianuju survived the collapse, but her power was broken. The fear she had inspired vanished overnight. Her commands no longer carried weight. Her authority was gone. And for the first time, she was forced to face the consequences of her actions. Amara did not celebrate. She did not shout triumphantly or flaunt her endurance. She simply chose peace. In Nigeria, she knew, forgiveness is a quiet strength, one far more powerful than hatred. From that day onward, the compound slowly healed. Laughter returned cautiously. Trust was rebuilt in careful increments. Amara remained gentle, not because she was weak, but because cruelty had failed to break her. The villagers never forgot the lesson etched into their red earth. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Never mistake patience for powerlessness. And never attempt to curse a destiny guarded by endurance, wisdom, and the spirits of the land. Because justice, when it arrives, may do so quietly, slowly, and without warning, but it always leaves no doubt behind.